What's Happy Wednesday? It's the 25th. Yo, the holiday is already here. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's a nice day outside. And with that being said, the summer is upon us. And I know everybody wants to get out, start getting out, doing their thing. I just want to run down some things to you. Please get the Deadly Arts of Survival magazine. If you still need taxes done or something in lieu of that, reach out to uh, Jacob Ingram Taxes. Also, Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. Get these, get these things. They're good. I wouldn't lie to you. They're good. $85, $35. But reach out and tell Reggie you do Real Talk Chronicles. Noble Wilson's, Noble Fine Cuisine. Also, Soul Food. Chocolat, Leon Ellis. Harlem Underground, Leon Ellis. And Soft Illusion. Will be doing something in June. Uh, Check out my wife's website, stuff like that. Soft Illusions Art Gallery. I am Bill Forster. This is Wednesday. I think you know what we're going to discuss this evening. There isn't anything more important than what we're going to converse about tonight. And with that being said, let's get into it. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Stefania, good evening, everyone. What a heavy day. Absolutely. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Vera. Calvin. What's up, Yolanda? Shout out to everybody that's chiming in, popping in. I appreciate you all. I'll say hi to you in a few minutes. Um, Mass shootings, you know, domestic terrorists. What's your thoughts? Enough is enough. Children, babies, 10 years old. Come on, really? 10-year old children. What are we doing? Uh, the murderer, as we will call him, a Latin man. Um, no issues. We didn't hear about any issues. He killed his grandmother before he goes to the school. I think he was on a chase from the police department, right? And he runs into the school, and he goes goes ham. You know, you got everybody up in arms, as we should be. But the people that can change the laws, are they really up in arms? Let's figure this out. Because now, don't get me wrong, I'm for guns. I'm going to tell you right in your face, I'm for guns. But we need to start looking deeper into uh, how people get guns. How can somebody get a gun? How can somebody not buy a drink of alcohol, but you can purchase a firearm? And it's all right, the volume of the firearm that you're getting an assault rifle, magazines, bullets, multiple bullets. And the guy's like, all right, that'll be $800 or whatever the price is. And that's okay. But he cannot go in the store and I think purchase cigarettes or purchase alcohol. Help me figure this shit out. You got Ted Cruz standing up there like he's so upset. And you're part of the problem. You really are. You don't want to do anything about it. This is not, to me, about Republicans and Democrats. Keep that shit over there to yourself. This is about right and wrong. I'm not saying change the gun laws where people can't get firearms. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is tweak it in a point of 18 years old. Why are you getting a firearm? There might have to be a little bit more extensive background check on why you're getting a firearm. Run this record. Okay, people want to talk about mental health. Dude didn't show any signs of mental health. All he talked about is he shot his grandmother. Other dude in Buffalo, crazy, right? Buffalo. Now he's spewing hate shit. He's spewing it all over. What's up, Cornelius? How are you, brother? What's up, Reggie? Shout out to everybody chiming in. I think I'm going solo tonight. I don't know where anybody's at. I've asked people to come on. Anybody more than welcome. You can chime in with me. Good evening, Vivian. Anybody can chime in with me. I'll send you the link. You can come in and chop it up with me. Panels are doing panel stuff, I guess. Who knows? But so I'm going to give you a strong hour of what I feel, and I want to hear what you feel. People, we have a serious problem in this world today. A very serious problem. Our priorities are all effed up. What's up, Dana? What's up, niece? I'm going to send you the link right now. I'll text you right now, Reg. We have a very serious problem. And I don't know why people don't get it. They don't get it for reasons unbeknown to me. But they don't want to get it. And that's the problem. Why don't you want to get it? Because that's where you should try to understand this shit. You know what I'm saying? Kids, elderly, they didn't do anything to you. And you want to go out here and hate people for the color of their skin. You want to go to a school and shoot up little kids. 10 years old. Most of the deaths are under 10 years old. What do we say about that? Really, help me figure this out because I'm confused. I'm really confused. That is problem. They don't want to get it. You're right, Viv. They don't want to get it. And you know what's so funny? I'm tired. If Pastor Graves comes on or the Dr. Quarters, I reached out to my cousins to see if they would come on. And I think Kevin is on us doing something, and Rich, I know he's something, and Chuck might be coming in later. But I'm giving you a strong hour of my feelings, and it is what it is. And I appreciate you all hanging out with me for tonight. I extend the olive branch. Anybody wants to come off and come on tonight and just vent and talk about what they feel and how they feel, because we have to come up with a solution. I'm right now ready to tell anybody, Republican or Democrat, if your senator, whomever, are not doing what you want to do, don't even vote. Don't even vote. And that's crazy for me to say. Vote them out. You understand what I'm saying? What's up, Anna? And I would love to hear your views on this. I know you definitely got some good stuff to talk about. Colin, too, I know you got some feelings on this. Babies, elderly. You got some people that want to talk about, oh, what about the black on black crime? Shut the F up. I don't want to hear that. We get that. What's up, Michelle? What's up, sis? How are you? We get all that. We get on the white on white crime too, on the Asian on Asian crime. Right? But these are people that are acquiring assault rifles illegally. This is not illegal guns. There isn't anybody that's out here getting illegal guns that are doing these mass shootings. We get about the stupid, heinous crimes, the lawlessness. We get that. But we're talking about getting legal handguns and then going to a place of worship, education, and just well-being, going to buy food and groceries for you, just for your betterment of your life. And people have the audacity to go there and shoot up the damn joint. Right? I'm not co-signing any mental illness. When you go past you shoot a bunch of black people, and then you get to a white person and you say, "Oh, sorry, f you," and he's not killed, right? He comes out with a gun. Everybody, I'm a law enforcement officer, retired law enforcement officer. Person with a gun in his hand, I can technically shoot, right? I can technically shoot. People want to hear the whole, we see how they coddle their some coddle their skin tone. Not all. Please, I will never say all, because I've worked with some beautiful white officers that can get down for the get down, and they are righteous. But when we start talking about those that have a problem with, they feel like somebody's trying to take their gun laws. But we need our politicians to stop doing this, being all or nothing. What happened to meeting at the middle? Hey, Yolanda, Tracy, what's going on? Michelle, what's up, sis? Like I said, I'm extending the olive branch. Cornelius, I don't know what you're doing. Text me. I'll send you if you're free. I'm just extending the olive branch to anybody that wants to get out and express their feelings tonight. This is really not. This is just real talk, and we just gonna talk, man. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give you a strong hour, and we're just gonna talk about our feelings and what we think about what has happened in lieu of these shootings. I think since 2000, is it 19? 22 places have mass shootings. Come on. Okay. Yes, this was a Latin man. I don't know what his issues were with life or his people, but he shoots his grandmother. He leaves. This other nut job in Buffalo. What's up, Wayne? Hey, Vera. She said America is at war with itself. There should be no reason that a gun like an AR-15 should be in a civilian hands, period. This is not Beirut or Somalia where they are fighting in the streets. Absolutely. Let me just tell you something. Think about this. Other places like Britain and other foreign countries, they don't have these problems. They don't have these problems. Stefani said after 20 years of school shootings and no legislation changes, it's clear as they don't care and nothing will change. Absolutely. You know what's so funny? I was listening to the one of the channels, till the channel starts shouting me out. I'll start shouting them out. But I will give this channel their props today, because the two journalists were giving it to the man. So I was watching CNN in my passing, and I think, what's his name? Brother with a beard, I think this is Vic, and he had a female reporter with him. So they interviewing, what's this guy name? I think Davis, black guy, Texas representative, state, whatever. What's good, Mark? They asked this dude, what do you want to do and change and stuff like that. This cockamamie cuckoo said, let the investigation take its course first. When they asked him, they said, well, what about changing from how do we protect our kids? He said, let's change the structure of the architectural structure of the buildings of schools. Dude, what does that have to do? What's up, Michelle? You're right, Colin. These elected officials don't share. Stefania said in a week or two, we'll move on. Then there'll be another mass shooting and the cycle continues. Absolutely. What's up, Michelle? Good evening, my beautiful people. Absolutely. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. Right now, I'm just like I said, I'm going solo. If I'll send a link to anybody that just wants to say what you feel or type what you feel in. I understand if you don't want to come on screen. I get it. But just type in what you feel about these shootings, because I'm tired. Listen, the Golden State Warriors coach, Steve Kerr, came out and he blasted them. I applaud him. We need more of our white friends and brothers and sisters to come out and speak up. But no, A lot won't. I don't see anybody in these police groups that I'm in talking shit. They ain't saying anything, right? Mm-mm. They want to talk about Black Lives Matter. Tim Anderson complaining about what Josh Donaldson, how dare he complain that Josh Donaldson called him Jackie. He's a crybaby. I'm like, this is what you want to argue. Cornelius says, let's not forget a 19-year-old can also purchase a shotgun for hunting purposes. Absolutely. Right. You're right, Cornelius. Shout out to my man Cornelius Parks in the building. Curtis, what's going on, brother? How are you, man? Like I said, please, everybody, whatever you're feeling, let me know because I'm going to read it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to talk about it because, and first, of course, let's extend our prayers to the families. I hope I never experience what it's like to lose a loved one from a terrorist act, from a murderer. Right, Collins? I said it. Like you said, Wayne, Bill, they just don't care. Absolutely. Because I don't know if I'm built. Me and Jesus, we on a good path together, and I need him every day in my life. But the police did the right thing in killing him. I'll say it. Michelle said it won't stop until we stop buying from their donors. We are paying them to kill our children. Absolutely. What's up, Sharon? How are you, sis? What's going on? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I think I'm going solo tonight. Unless any of you want to come in, I'll send you the link, or you can just type in what you feel. I get it. I'm gonna give you a strong hour. Like I said, we on countdown. We're going to 8 o'clock strong because I know the weather's hot. People getting out here. We will take a little vacation. We won't be here next week, and I might uh, change up for the summer because it seems like a lot of my hosts are kind of disappearing on me, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you the link right now, Cornelius. Good. I just wanted people to come in and tell me what they're feeling and how they're feeling about these situations, and I appreciate it. Unless if I don't, when I come back after a week, I may just start doing guest people and inviting them in, which is a great thing too. I'm waiting for Reggie Bullock to come in. I hope Reggie, you're still trying to come in, which is a great thing. I just want opinions from people and what you feel because this is ridiculous. You know, it really is. We what can we do? How can we stop? What's up, man? Roscoe, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Appreciate you. Norm, what's going on? Everybody, like I said, this is Real Talk Chronicles. And tonight, this is a vent session, man. We got to get it off our chest and what we feel. Colin said you have to be 21 to buy an alcohol drink, 25 to rent a car, and 18 to buy any type of gun, rifle, tactical gear without any questions being asked. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Roscoe, you right, man. You already know. Mark said, bro, these people aren't going to do a damn thing. The Second Amendment in Texas is the gospel. This country is inherently racist and violent. Did you get a chance to read the manifesto of this Buffalo monster? Nah, I didn't get that. My man. What's up, Norm? Norm, if you want to chime in and chop it up with us too, man, text me and just tell me or write in and I'll send you the link. Like that's everybody. Um, I don't I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm tired. I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of listen. I'm gonna say this, and I say this with no disrespect, right? I don't even think these people care if they kill white kids. They're not changing these laws. That's effed up. Because right now, what's up, Whip Wop? My man. O'Hollow's in the building, baby. Hey, Rochelle, what's up, sis? How y'all feeling? Um, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what the problem is. What do you think needs to be done? What are you going to happen? People ain't changing laws, man. No. What's up, Ron? My guy. You're right. Not even their own. Everybody, I'm bringing in my guy, Cornelius Parks. What's up, good brother? How are you?
Hey, how you doing? It's to Bill Foster, and hello to your viewers. Good to be back on, man. I didn't want to take over your show, but of course, this
No,
was a sensitive topic, and I said, man, I got to join in on this one.
no, man, take it over, man. Because for those that don't know, Cornelius is a law enforcement officer too. You can tell them more about who you are, and we met doing uh, Zooms and podcasts together, and we developed a friendship, and I appreciate him. I know he's been busy, and I know there's certain things that he may not be able to say, but whatever you want to say, brother, you can just talk about this from your African American perspective, a law enforcement perspective, or from being in where you are. So you can tell everybody whatever you want to say, brother. The floor is yours. Go ahead. I think he froze up on me. Roscoe, what's going on, bro? Let me read what you said, bro. Roscoe says, see, these is how these ass clown politicians and government spend the blame for political theater on who's responsible for nothing being done. No laws being put into place, and the shutting down whoever is in bed, lobbying and making money with the NRA to stop the madness. Yet their salaries are still being paid and kids are dying. Exactly. This is why Michelle said, this is why money is going to talk. Viv said, let's not use the excuse of mental illness. That's intent. He intentionally went after black people. Absolutely. Stefania, mind you, in Texas about a month ago, the governor signed it into law a bill that doesn't require background checks for firearm purchases. Absolutely. Yolanda, she says, I can't understand it. How can a gun shop owner see a young kid come into his store and start pointing out the guns he's like to purchase, like if he's buying video games? Absolutely. And that's my take on it. And the gun shop owner takes his money and hands over the weapons. I don't understand that. There's not a dollar amount of money that could have me sell a gun to kids. This is so messed up. I totally agree with you. I got you. I got you, Cornelius. You back, brother?
Yeah, my laptop died on me, so I had to come in cell phone. That's what happened when your kids use all your software.
Absolutely, brother. So tell me, what's your take on the shooting stuff, man?
Well, it's just like any of the previous ones. It's you were never prepared, and you being a former retired law enforcement officer, me currently, and law enforcement actually is a SRO for one of the school district in the area. And this is something that we talk about all the time. We train for it on a yearly basis through the active shooter training that's required for all school resource officers in the state of Mississippi. We have to go to this yearly based off of Mississippi Department of Education policy. So therefore, to answer your question, I was when the news first came through the phone. I think initially it said it was two active shooting somewhere in Texas, two confirmed dead. And then the numbers just kept rising. Then the next alert I saw 10 dead. I said, oh my God, this is huge. Then later on 14 dead. And then ultimately at the end, 19 dead and two adults. I believe 21 dead, two adults or something to that effect. So this is, according to the news, was the second worst, I should say, mass shooting compared other than the one that happened at
Connecticut.
Yeah. Connecticut, that's correct. So Bill, you and I both know well, let me just say this. This is something we think that can't happen in our area or won't happen. But this young man could have chose any school in any part of the country and chose his targets. And it's terrible. It's horrible for such a cowardly act. And I don't know. It's today was a summer day, and you getting towards the end of the school year. I think they said that school in Texas was on the last week of school. Everybody's kind of lax. Even here today was our last day of public school here in the area that I work, and classes cut out at 12 noon today. So even though it was a short day, a lot of kids was absent because normally that's how it is in the South. Most kids don't come to school the last 5 or 8 days because all the grades are already in. So if they, especially if they pass, they just don't show up. So only the one that's made to come to school, I guess the parents don't want them at home by themselves. So we had I'd say 25% of the classroom capacity today. And even what happened yesterday, we got a text message from the chief and superintendent that she wants us on high alert because we can't take nothing for granted. Anybody suspicious, anybody who don't look like they need to be on campus, question them. So to answer all that in a nutshell, I apologize.
No, never that. I mean, brother, you can talk as much as you want to because, like I said, everybody. Of course, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I just got my special guest that came in, Cornelius Parks, a law enforcement officer. Out of Mississippi, right? Cornelius?
That is correct. Out of Meridian, Mississippi, I work for the Meridian Public School District as the head school resource officer, and I actually my job was the Meridian High School, the high school, but of course recently due to some personnel changes, I actually travel throughout the district, which we have 9 schools within our district. So just kind of just go check in at each
Sure.
school.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I have some questions. I want to say, let me read some comments real quick. She said, Stefani said, mind you, oh, okay, I read that. Yolanda said, I can't understand it. How can a gun? I think I read that. What's up, Jacob? My brother, everybody. Jacob, Daily Arts Magazine, our sponsor in England, Texas. Appreciate you. The new magazine is out. Just a little from the sponsorship. Wesley Snipes is doing the new Daily Arts of Survival magazine. Amazon, get it, please. Support my brother. He supports me. Dana Richardson, my niece, she says, we need a real change. Who protects our children and elderly? Seeing kids scared to go to school today is not all right. No one should be scared to go to church, the shop, grocery store, school, etc. It should not be that way at all. Leadership for humanity is lacking amongst our youth. There are so few full of hate. Where is the love for each other? You're right, Yolanda. I agree with you. My heart hurts. Michelle said, where are the GOP's pro-life, anti-abortion people? I forgot this is the afterbirth effect. You're right. Ain't that something? Monk said the concept of collateral damage was the main thing in Charlottesville. If some have to die in order to save the purposes is what's supposed to be. Bill, these people study us. Every aspect of our existence has been studied. Look for targets that won't or will not have the ability to mount a response. This is just a few statements from the manifesto, 18 and already rationalized. Ain't that something? You know, it's so crazy that right now, and Cornelius, you'll have to help me with this in curriculum, is that they're teaching people how to deal with mass shootings. What happened about just recess and playing in school? What happened to arts and crafts and stuff like that? That is all gone. We're teaching how to stage,
Prepare.
prepare for mass shootings. And when they happen, we're still not prepared. I don't know. And listen, we could talk about like putting guards and police officers at the school. But this dude was being chased by police officers, and then ran into a school. Like, yo, like, come on, man. You know, uh, they killed him. Okay, I mean, this dude right here, he he shot his grandmother. The dude in Buffalo, like he spewed hate speeches in manifestos, like Mark is saying. Shout! I see you, TJ. But you know what's so funny? I'm so tired about this whole mental illness. This ain't mental illness. This is just a thought process that it's like a fire, like a starting a fire pit or a slow burn. You strike it or you rub it like the sticks rubbing together, and then it starts to fire. Then it starts to manifest, and then it slowly burns and it starts to spread. This is just straight evil. And your thoughts, whatever you feel, man.
Well, several responses to that, but we did a live last week, just like yourself. For those who don't know me, of course, I'm from Mississippi. I also do a show similar to Bill Foster, and it's Parks Investigative Live.
Yeah.
I had on Pastor Kevin Graves on last week, and I had a few local one counselor on, and we did a show right after the incident that happened in Buffalo. And the title of my program that particular night last week, or actually 1 week ago today, last Wednesday, was white supremacy or mental illness. Because I was watching the news clips and some of the social media clips where a lot of the I would say right wing media was trying to say mental illness, mental illness. Well, I question that because just like any of the other counselors or philosophers would say, this guy knew exactly which store he wanted to go to. He knew exactly when he wanted to go to the store. He knew what type of ammunition, what type of weapon he wanted to use. So you look at all these other underlying and mitigating factors. Also, the incident at his school where he had made mentions of possibly shooting up a school. And so this guy, I don't buy this mental illness on every situation. We all suffer from some type of mental illness of some sort. They try to use this to try to kind of minimize the seriousness of his behavior. This guy went in here and killed innocent lives, and there was a video out of his little body cam or whatever type of recording he had, where of course we all saw it. He pointed the gun at the white female clerk, and said, "Oh," we realized she wasn't one of his targets, which was a black person. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Unbelievable. And you call this mental illness? This guy knew exactly who he was targeting. So I don't buy this mental illness from that aspect. Um, and back to the incident on yesterday where the guy shot his grandmother, and he was being chased by the police, wrecked his pickup truck in a ditch or some type of waterway creek, got out and ran to the school. Now, Bill, I would say this. A lot of us don't think something like this would happen in elementary school. We kind of focus a lot of our attention, at least in this region, toward the high school level, because you got kids of around the teenage age where they get in gang activities and a lot of your petty crimes that happen between the ages of 14 and 18 that's in school. You tend to not have a lot of problems in your elementary. So, and I know you can't predict these things. None of us are psychics, but I never would have thought this would have occurred in another elementary school. I mean, this wasn't a parent of one of the students there, or a disgruntled employee who was terminated from the district. This is someone who was running from the police from a crime that happened earlier in his home, domestic crime, and he ran into the school. Well, he had some intentions of going to shoot up the school, and that's not to be determined yet. But it's tragic, and it actually, and I hope I can say this, it pisses me off. Because I wish I could have caught this little bastard before this happened. And I may be wrong for saying that, but I mean, come on, like you said earlier in your program, most of the victim was under the age of 10. I have a 9-year-old in my home. I have a 13-year-old, and I have an 11-year-old daughter. And I just can't imagine getting that call knowing that something like this had occurred in a school where my kids are 10 and this happened. I couldn't live with myself.
No. I thank you, everybody. That's Cornelius Parks. That's my brother. In more ways than one. My brother in trying to do the right thing, my brother in law enforcement, and just my brother because we on this path of trying to bring some knowledge and light to certain situations. Let me just read some comments. It's just crazy to me. Norman said, "Norm, if you want to join too, Norm, you're law enforcement too. You can chime in if you want. Just let me know if you're good. Text me or tell me and I'll send you the link." And everybody, like I said, this is a event podcast right tonight. We can't have the solution because they're not listening to us. We can give the solutions as much as we try, but they're not listening to us. They don't want to hear what we have to say. Norm said, "It's been 230 mass shootings since Columbine. We need to get those 50 lawmakers out that's been holding up a bill for the past 2 years that would change the gun buying laws." Absolutely. Michelle, the school shooting is really affecting a lot of people. My nephew's graduation was 45 minutes long, if that long. Wow. The kids didn't have a valedictorian or a salutatorian speeches, nor did they walk up on stage. Everybody's on edge. Absolutely. That's crazy. What's up, Claudette? Rochelle, what's up, sis? She said all schools should have buzzers and fencing in. I hate to say it. This is what a hate. This was hate. We took God out of the system. Absolutely. Roscoe, my man, he said mental illness is their excuse for doing nothing, just like the crack era in comparison to the problem with white people and having with opiates. Just an excuse for making money with the NRA. That's who the problem is. The NRA and all those elected officials in Washington. Dana Richardson, she said the 18-year-old posted he shot his grandmother on social media. No red flags. He also posted that they are 15 pictures and sent messages prior and nothing happened. Wow. What's up, Sammy? How are you? What's up, Earl? Listen, I put up a post last week and my co-host, I kind of looked at him crazy when he said this. I put up a post that said, I'm referencing, it said John Lennon said it, and it just said something in reference about being happy. And he told the teacher, happiness is just being who you are, whatever. I put it up no less than an hour. I got flagged. It took it down. 2 weeks before that, something happened. Facebook shut me down. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? You coming at the, am I that powerful? But you concentrating on me, but you missing the mass shooters. You see what I'm saying, Cornelius? Like,
I had the same problem last week with my program, and I thought it was because of the title. I said white supremacy or mental illness, and of course, 15 minutes after the show, we ended the show. I was on the phone with Pastor Gray as we was recapping some of the highlights and points and telling how good the show went, and then I get an alert from a couple notifications from Facebook that you violated community standards, and so technically someone reported my live, and it was taken down. And we didn't use no profanity in it. We had good conversation, good dialogue, good diversity dialogue, and I guess it was keywords in there, or maybe a key conversation in there. And Facebook decided to go along with whoever reported and took the show down. So I concur with you with what you're saying, but carry on, sir.
no, but see that's in lies the problem. You know, the people that are trying to give conversation and dialogue to the problem are becomes the problem to those that have the power. You know what I'm saying? And I get about that's a whole other conversation about economically. We need to get our own and stuff. Right now, we don't have that, so we have to use the powers that be. That's why this is on YouTube and it's on Facebook. Because God forbid if you bump me, you can go to YouTube and watch
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Norman, my man Norman, who's my college basketball partner and former law enforcement, he said he'll be in Mississippi at the end of June, and he would like to link up with Mr. Parks. I'm definitely going to I'm gonna text you guys. So
yeah. And let me
but
know.
man,
Ask him which part of Mississippi he'll be in, because we're actually having some training the 1st of July, and he may be coming in to the end of. I don't know if it's on law enforcement business or not, but definitely give me his information.
oh yeah, definitely. I'll make sure. Roscoe said, but they shut your show down last week. Absolutely, Roscoe. You remember? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I listen. Uh, listen. I'm so, and you know, hopefully Pastor Graves might be able to chime in a few minutes. If he can't, I get it. It's okay. Because I'm gonna say what I want to say tonight, and it is what it is. Listen, I'll say this again. I'm so saddened for the people that have lost somebody, because I wouldn't know what extent I would do to get my hands on the person that did this heinous, terrible, like a child, my grandmother, my mother. Oh man, I was a caretaker. I took care of my mother for years. This is how Real Talk Chronicles came to fruition. And the fact of it, you take her because you just don't like black people. I don't even know. This guy seemed like he shot his own. Like he shot people of color, Latins. You know, I don't know how in Mexico or Texas or they feeling about us, but they people of color. And the thing is, he coming, and then also too, I don't know if he's having. I don't even want to give him. He don't get a badge of mental illness. That's a badge for him. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, you're a piece of, you're a slime. And listen. But you know what's so funny? And I'm not gonna go too far there, but I didn't hear about 50 shots. I didn't hear about 30 shots. I didn't hear about 22 shots. I didn't hear that. I don't even know if it was 2 shots. I know they killed him, but I don't know how many shots, right? A newscaster came on TV, and a journalist, and he said, people of color don't even get these kind of let's see, what's the word I really want to try to say? Caring acts when it came to Buffalo. Buffalo, you should have blown them away. I don't want to hear the point. I mean, we're both in law enforcement. We understand about investigation. I kind of got into it with Kevin because he was like, oh, you want to bring him in and you want to investigate. Listen, we're investigating this guy in Texas just as well as we're investigating the guy in Buffalo. One is dead, one is alive. Listen, we're in law enforcement. We know how to follow the breadcrumbs. What's your take on that, Cornelius?
Well, yeah, again, and I know this training, this active shooter training, which is based out of Austin, Texas, that's taught all around the nation. It used to be that used to, if there's an active shooting in progress, you would call up the SWAT team, and you wait on the SWAT team to get there. Now, because of what happened in some of the previous school shootings where people are going in and killing multiple people, they're saying, okay, wait, but they changed the procedure on waiting for the SWAT team. The first officer who arrives on the scene, or the first officer there, is the one who go in, and what they teach us is to take down the shooter. So we're trained. If you have an active shooter, especially if he's killing people, you're supposed to take him out. You don't wait on SWAT team. You don't wait on 4 or 5 gang other team members to link up, and you go in like a team 6 of the military. You go in and you take that individual down. So and I'll say this, and of course I have to be politically correct because I am still a working officer. Had I arrived at that school first, it would have been all headshots, because we know now these active shooter now that the trend is they're wearing body armor. They want to last as long as possible to try to take out as many people as you can. So I would tell all my fellow officers across the nation and those who are listening, even some of these guys who is in security, work on your headshots. We do a lot of training with body shots. When we recertify, and I think out of the 50-round course that's required here in Mississippi, we only take 2 headshots out of that 50-round course. I tell people now, you do pay for an additional course and you go strictly for the head. I mean, it may sound harsh this day and time, but there's nothing harsh about when somebody's when you think of someone going in and killing your loved one in a store, the innocent elderly people like in Buffalo. Again, I'm devastated behind that. I mean, I was just pissed off in my spirit knowing that this individual went in there and just killed these innocent Black people, elderly 80-some-year-old women. Oh my God, it does something to me. And I have to be careful what I say, because people say,
let me text it.
There you go.
Let me say it, because like I said, I'm retired.
There you go.
I say this: there isn't anything they can do besides push me off and keep me on YouTube. With that being said, I'm gonna bring in my other brother, Reggie Bullock, and get his thoughts on this project. What's up, brother Reggie? How are you, man? How you feeling?
Hey, tonight? Bill, how you doing? I'm just thrown off that we're still talking about this, and I'm going to tell you why. It was about 10 years ago that we went through the Sandy Hook thing, and I really thought that was going to be the change. And when I saw all those rich, and not to make this a race issue, but when I saw rich white kids from an exclusive area, Sandy Hook, if you know anything about it, wealthy people, when I saw those little children die, I thought that was going to be the change, because I figured that's what America needed to change.
Yes.
And then there were so many more killings after that. It kept going and going and going to the point where now I'm not sure where we're at. I really am not. And I say this from the perspective of somebody who worked in a classroom for 17 years. And so I worked at a private school, and I worked at a regular public school. And some of the things that I saw in those school systems, I said, there's not enough money. We can stop the guns at one point, cut down on the guns, but we're at a point where I think we're being desensitized to all of this stuff. And I really believe, as your guest had said, and that you had said earlier, I think we're just waiting until the next one happens, and the next one happens, until the next one happens. And I think it's going to have to be something that, I don't know, all of America has to get behind this. And it's not, like you said earlier, Bill, it's not Republican, Democrat. It's just your soul. It's your spirit. It's your spirit. How can you watch children? How can you watch the elderly? And it's funny, we got over the elderly thing real quick. All those people were older people in Buffalo, and they died a week ago just shopping. And so we can come up, and I've seen some people in your on your posts saying that, well, maybe if we do this in schools, so we're going to do this in movie theaters? Are we going to do this? Are we going to have protection in grocery stores, in malls? How much money is America willing to spend? And then here's another thing. When we talk about the police, we need to shoot, we need to kill. Yeah, but some of these guys now they're wearing armor. And then what happens when they get drones? And then what happens when these little kids start building bombs?
Yeah.
What happens? Do we get more bombs? Do we get drones? Do we dress up kids? In our country, we don't even want to wear a mask. So you're going to have kids wear helmets?
Reggie, hold your thought. I want to add something that you said was very important. Sorry to interrupt. I know that's rude.
No, that's okay.
In my district, and I'm not going to call it out. In my district, we're not even allowed. Well, the school board voted down for us to have AR-15s because it looked like this was, of course, 5, 6, 7 years ago, because it looked, and I'm paraphrasing, it looked too much, like too much of a weapon inside of a school district with AR-15s. What I mean is, we're not saying walk around and it's clipped to your shoulder like some, SWAT team, but we can't even have them in the cars because it's too much. Now, all these mass shootings, what are these perps using? They're using assault rifles, and we'll walk around with Glock 40s. And that don't have no comparison to assault rifle. So anyway, I'm piggybacking off what you said, because that's another issue that we're fighting. And I think now with all these shooting that has happened across the nation, the board has going to reconsider and look for us to start purchasing some of those assault rifles to keep in the vehicle for situations as such. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I just want to add one other thing, Bill. I had a show, this was years ago, and I had a police chief from, I believe, Birmingham, Alabama. And he used to be a police chief in Toledo, Ohio. And I said, what do you think about the more of us, just regular people, having guns, right? And he said, most people have never been in a shootout in their life. No. He said, as a police officer, I was in a shootout. He said, and it's kind of frightening. He said, I'm ducking and all I hear is pew, 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 pew. He said, I'm trained, and that's a difficult situation. To have regular people walking around with guns, trained. Now, once again, I'm not against guns, because my dad is 88 years old. And if he was listening to this now, he would say, no, I live in the country by myself. I'm scared of somebody pulling up on me. So I get that. Yeah. But the idea of the rest of us, because we're so afraid of all of us need guns. I would hate to be in Burger King and one of these guys start pulling out a gun, and then I got friendly fire coming the other way. I don't know who to shoot at. I don't know when to shoot. And you guys being law enforcement and former law enforcement, what would that be like if you pull up in Burger King and people are shooting all over the place and you don't know who the shooter is?
And you know what's so funny? That's a great point, Reggie. That's a great point. I apologize for interrupting you, but I'm going to let my big brother. I can't call him my big brother. He's just big in size, because that's my brother. We both the same age. I'm going to let my man Norm come in and answer your question. What's up, Norm? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I hear you, my man. Norm. What's going on? How you guys doing?
Hey, Norm.
Great, sir.
Cornelius, Norman, Reggie, Norman, Cornelius. Did you hear the last statement Reggie just said about having just civilians? I'm going to just say this. I think, because I'm not against people having guns, I'm tired of people of color not being able to get guns. I'm tired of that being legal. Because the bottom line is, Reggie, I condone your father having a gun because he living in the country. I want him to have that gun, because if somebody coming up on that porch or his driveway at 12 o'clock at night, or unbeknown to him, he needs the right to do what he got to do. So I'm all for about bearing your own arms and protecting yourself, because Malika will tell you, I've been an advocate for teaching her how to learn how to shoot, want to go shoot, her and her mother. They tell you, I want all my friends. New York got some of the strictest gun laws, but damn near everybody in New York got a gun that shouldn't have one. Right now, a lot of places, like when I live abroad, in PA, Norman and you're in North Carolina, Cornelius, you're in
Mississippi,
and Reggie, you're in Atlanta. So shout out to all the people that are watching from all over. Guns are easy to get via driving license, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, via driver's license. But even people in felonies in Atlanta, I've been told that you can get a driver's license after a certain time, but they don't want to, because we're stigmatized that, I don't want a gun, and guns ain't bad. It's the people that pick them shits up. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I know where mine are strategically put in my place. You know what I'm saying? Malika knows where they are, and she always tells me, babe, if God forbid something happens, I get it. Shout out to everybody chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Norman, I just want to get your take on what's happening, and then I'm just going to read some comments. But Norm, what's your thought process on what's happening? Hey, Naomi, I see you, sis, on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's watching. We appreciate you.
Man, first of all, I'm just tired of everything that's going on with this. It's not mental illness. In most cases, it's not mental illness because, like Mr. Park said, the gentleman, I can't even call him a gentleman, that person in Buffalo, he knew who he was after.
Right.
Uh, as we as people of color are being hunted and killed like game, and we need to be able to arm ourselves. Those that can legally arm themselves need to arm themselves and know how to use a weapon. As me, former law enforcement, who's been in shootouts, who's been shot, it's a whole another ball game when you go through it. Me as a
Mm-hmm.
black male with children and grandchildren, I could only phantom the pain of a parent losing a child to gun violence when you got 50 politicians, Mitch McConnell,
Mm-hmm.
the leader, holding up a bill that's been in Congress for over 2 years that
Yeah.
can rectify a lot of that situations with buying guns. And it's money. It's money. And
Yes.
until it happens to them, God forbid, until it happens to them or one of their family members, they're not going to understand it. They're not going to even try to pass it.
Mm.
Find out how much
They're
the NRA is donating to all those campaigns that's against the
Yes.
gun laws. That'll get to the root of the source.
Yeah,
Well, you
absolutely.
know.
Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is just a round table of anybody that wants to join. Text me, inbox me. I'll send you the link. We're just venting because we're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's where I'm
Mhm.
at with this right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I had somebody say something to me or say something, and sometimes people need to shut the fuck up when they don't know what they talking about. And I
Mhm.
say that literally when they
Mhm.
was like, oh, just being angry, mad, but you ain't gonna be mad for long because what about black on black crime and Latin on Latin crime?
Mm.
I said, listen, check this out, right? I didn't really converse with the person, but when I read it, I will engage with them when I see them because they're gonna say it again because that's what they wrote. And people don't get this shit really twisted. There are people out here, our people of color, our brown people killing each other for reasons that they think they have a reasons.
Mhm.
Not because there's really for our age group, we're looking like, yo, that's not no reason. You're fighting over turf, you're fighting over disrespect, feeling you're real sensitive and shit like that. Listen, in their mind, there's a reason. I'm not condoning us killing each other. Trust me, I want to stop that. I've been doing this shit a long time, and I've been
Mhm.
on the front lines. I go to schools and I speak on how to interact with law enforcement. I speak on how to be motivational. I twist all that in together. I get calls, texts. I do Zooms. I speak to colleges. I'm asked to do career days. So I'm out there trying to make this happen. And I'm sure, just like my panel and anybody that wants to be a part of this panel, we can stay on here as long as we want to kick it about how we try to get a solution. We're not going to get it because nobody's going to listen to us, but we want to vent our solutions. How about that? That's the best way I can say. This is the show tonight where we're venting our solutions. With that being said, don't ever mix up somebody that hates people for people thinking they fighting for something else. I'm not
Yes.
justifying black on black crime or Latin on Latin
Yes.
crime. I'm not justifying any kind of crime, but don't mix the two up. Now
Yeah.
you sound like an ass, and we know what happens when you talk out your ass.
Mhm.
Assumption is the key to all fuck ups. And excuse me for cursing, Cornelius. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just tired of people trying to justify bad behavior. With that being said, let me just read some comments. Um, Miguelado said, hey, sis, she said, I feel like an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If they feel that they can take someone's life, then we have the right to take their life for the crime. Bring the electric chair back and make a stronger rules. Mm, I'll find out what you guys feel about that. Mark said, the NRA is full of crap. And NRA 15 couldn't be used in Vietnam due to the damage that projectiles will be to the human body. Hence, why the M16 was used. Also says, I'm down with owning homeowner. However, I'm down with owning, however, many weapons you like, but the lie is hiding under so-called hunting laws. Absolutely, bro. They have a plan, and it's truly not sure what will, as collectively, we will do. Uh, what's up, Wayne? I see you. Wayne said, "Bill, just because who he is why they won't shoot first unless they get a shot at." Absolutely. He's talking about person of color. Michelle said, dude in Buffalo on protective gear on his head. Then where? I figured the knees. He shouldn't go down, shouldn't he? Should he? Listen, let me just say this. Shame on the person that shoots at the person that has protective gear. If you have on a helmet or a body armor at your chest, and I shoot at your chest, and call me an ass, I'm going to shoot where there's no bullets at. Let me say, I think Norman has said, I have never been shot, thank God. I don't know if Cornelius has been in shootings. I've been in the shooting, but the thing is to be shot at, and listen, that TV, pew, pew, pew,
Mm-hmm.
off. When you hear that bullet, but you're right, when you hear that bullet, pew, pew, and
Mm-hmm.
that whistle, and you be like, oh, he's really shooting. This ain't no Beverly Hills Cop.
Right.
This is some real like
Mm-hmm.
piercing. So it's a different animal, and that's why we have so many senseless shootings. Because people out here are not even knowing how to kill. Shame on them. First, and shame on for having the guns.
Well,
Let me
let me
just
say
read some more.
this, Bill.
Go
As
ahead,
someone
please.
who's been shot, it's not like on television. You lose control of all body functions. You urinate, you defecate on yourself. It's the whole nine. But one thing I do say that we can help change these laws is everyone need to vote. Know who you're
Yes.
voting for. Get your ballots and read them and see who you're voting for and what they stand for. I'll vote for a zebra if they got the same agendas as I have.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's just bottom line. It doesn't matter who you are, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever. As long as the agendas are the same as mine, then I'll vote for you. But I do believe there should be term limits. I'm strong on that point. There should be term limits because they have a lot of politicians who are out of touch. They have a lot of politicians who were in their 60s and 70s who it may have worked back then, but things are not working the same now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like with law enforcement, there's always a different breed of people coming through. You know, I'm coming to Mississippi in the June, beginning of July, because I'm thinking about moving back home. That's my home. Magnolia, Mississippi is my home. And I'm thinking about moving back home. No matter where you go, there's problems. No matter where you go. Growing up in Mississippi, you used to see the pickup trucks with the guns in the back. The gun back in the back.
You should go to school with them and with the rifle in the back during hunting
Yeah,
season in the back of the window.
Yo, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a comment real quick from my niece.
but-
Hold on, Norm. Give me a second. Hold on, Norm. Give me a second. Hold on. I think Norm, you're getting a little bad connection. Go someplace where you can get things. Michelle said, in my opinion, although it appears that the shooter was killing his own, doesn't mean he wasn't rationalized by the wrong people. Honestly, at first glance, I thought he was a mixed race. Yeah. I don't know what this dude. Somebody even says, which doesn't make a difference to me, if he was a transvestite or transgender. I don't give a damn.
Right.
He could pick up a gun. He's a killer. F him. Dana said, you can walk around. My niece said, you can walk around here in Houston, Texas with guns on your hip, like it was very normal to do. Real Wild West living, and it was normal to have a gun license here. Sad times. I am all for the guns that are for protection, not for the cowards that are mad and the world and they live in. It doesn't make any sense. The standards to get a gun definitely should be higher. You know what's so funny? Let me just say this, and I'll come to you, Cornelius and Reggie. I want everybody to have a gun, because if everybody got a gun, then everybody gonna get some act right at the wrong time if you act up. You know what I'm saying? But what I want people to stop thinking that we as and the politicians, if you're listening, please stop being all left or all right. There has to be a happy median. Everybody should be able to get a gun, but go to a step. You don't have to get it the same day. Maybe there needs to be a week process or 2 week process where you can do a background check. You may be able to purchase it and then keep it in a safe. But we just got to run your name and record through the day. Yo, Cornelius, you and I know they run people for less shit.
Mm-hmm.
You run a person for their driver's license, and everybody out there understand. You run your driver's license, they'll come up and find out if you got a criminal record. Don't get this shit twisted. We'll find out. Go ahead, Cornelius, please.
I'll even say this too. You get $800 behind on your child support, they suspend your license. So they're more stricter on child support than gun law. And that's not to say that, I mean, fathers should take care of their children. I'm just saying that here in Mississippi, the DHS will literally shut you down if you get into your arrears more than $500. Let me say this too, and I know a lot of different states have different gun laws, but of course, for the most part, I was telling you earlier, Mississippi is one of the states where at the age of 19, it could be 18, but I think it was 19 because I purchased a shotgun at the age of 19 for hunting purposes. I was a big hunter. So, but there's also states in this nation. You have to Google, guys. I ask you if you want to know more, just Google this. But there are some states in America where a parent, where you or I can gift our 14, 15-year-old son a firearm. Just long as now he can't go out in public and openly carry, but we can purchase a firearm from the gun store and gift this to our child. So I think this is where some of the issue is. You get some of these kids who are gun happy and they're immature, not mind is not fully developed. And then you got these video games because I play them. I'm a big fan of GTA, but I'm a 40-year-old man. I don't plan on going out in this town and go act like some of those characters. But you get these young children to get out here and man, you get every weapon you want on GTA and you get to shoot people on there and that's where they think this real life scenario is, and they want to play this video game out and kill human beings. So anyway, that's just one synopsis. There are other several issues, but again, I think when we start about changing the laws, I'm not for taking anybody's assault rifle if you're illegally able to carry. I have an assault rifle right in my safe as we speak. But when we're talking about try to restrict some of the easy access to some of these, especially someone under the age of 21 who can easily have access to these firearms. Again, we carry a 16, 17 round clip in our Glock. These kids now are, and I've caught some kids in parked in the school parking with guns in the cars with 30 round max clips inside their handguns. I mean, here I am with a 17 round clip, so he can get off 30 rounds before I can. So before I get a reload. So this is the problem we have. And then you can go on Amazon or any other site and purchase these 30 round clips without any age verification. So for those who do not know, and I'm not picking on Amazon, that's just one of the sites that I shop from. But you go in there and you type in 30 round magazine, and you can purchase one for about $30. Go ahead, Reggie. Sorry.
I want to share. I don't want to hijack the conversation in a different direction because I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual, but not religious. I just want to share a conversation that I heard years ago when I was working in the school system. There was a young man. I don't want to say his name. I just got to really control myself not to say his name. But he was maybe 5'2", grew up in a home. His father was in prison. His mother was hanging out. And he was being bullied. He was a little kid. He was a tiny, small child. And what happened was he got bullied one too many times. He went out and got a gun. He didn't kill anybody, but he shot above their heads. And he got arrested. It was in the newspaper. And so we're sitting at a guidance counselor meeting. And I was new to the staff. And I knew to be quiet, but I couldn't be quiet in this situation, probably, which is why I'm not working there now. But I heard two of the counselors say, literally, back in the day, we used to fight it out. We didn't grab guns. He's a punk. He didn't, they were basically calling him a punk. And I said, hey, guys, I got to say something now. I know this kid. I know his family. I know his father. I know his mother. I said, let me just put it to you this way. And this is from a higher level. I believe it's a trickle-down effect. I said, think about it this way. This kid is 5'2". He has no father to show him the way. His mother's hanging out. I said, George Bush, the first one, the father, I said, he's president of the United States. He's 6'2". He's been raised in a church. He's been raised amongst money and financial. He's had everything in the world. He's got the CIA, the FBI, and everybody covering his back. And yet his only decision to deal with the Middle East was to drop bombs, and innocent people were going to get killed. Now, I'm not changing the conversation. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't protect America. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is from the very top of our leadership, children are taught, if you can't talk it out, drop a bomb, shoot, do whatever you can. So what I am saying is, I'm not saying that we take away guns. I'm not saying we shouldn't have nuclear weapons. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is some of this stuff is a trickle-down effect of this is who we are. We are the biggest, baddest people. We got the most guns. We'll shoot, we'll blow up stuff in a minute. You know, it could be video games, it could be movies, it could be all kinds. It could be mental health, it could be all kind of stuff. But the reality is, this is who our leaders are. Our leaders, Christian men, this is who we are. And so that stuff is going to trickle down to our children. If we don't think it is, it really will at a certain point.
I like that, Reggie. I like that.
Hold on, Cornelius. Let me just say this. What I realize is that a lot of people buy the big. It's like seeing the little guy jump out the big truck. He's 5'5". No disrespect to anybody.
Right.
But why are you driving a big 4-wheeler and shit, and you jumping out the big Hummer? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, their testosterone and testosterone, exactly. Thank you, sweetie. And their cojones is due by the gun that they carry. You know what I'm trying to say? Because the bottom line is, you know, Cornelius, Norm, you know this. What do we hear from our counterparts? Get the 45, get the 40 cal. It's a stopper. Wait a minute, who am I stopping? You know what I'm saying? So no, it's just a stop gun. So wait a minute, because and everybody out there that's listening, they're talking about that in lieu of somebody that you shoot at, you want to kill them. Let's dispute this shit right here. Let's not get this shit really convoluted and just distorted. You know what I'm saying? Yo, when you shoot somebody, you shoot in a mask, but you shoot because you want to kill them. With that being said, Norm, I just muted you because I kept hearing the feedback. I'm gonna take you off mute in a minute. But with that being said, people, I'm saying get your guns and then understand you can get that again. You know what I'm trying to say? But stop with the BS that you're scared to own a firearm because your neighbor Jimmy, neighbor Scotty, they're teaching their kids to shoot at a young age. They're taking them to the range where you're taking your kids to Comic-Con and other shit, you know, no disrespect and stuff. They're taking their kids to the range and they're teaching them how to shoot, and they grew up with this mentality. They teach it. You know what a man said to me a long time ago? He said, people, and I'm not going to say white man, but I'm just going to say man. Man has been hunting animal for years. After animals gone, who they going to hunt? They're going to hunt humans. Right? Let me just read some comments. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I have Norman Davis. I have Reggie Bullock, and I have Cornelius Parks in the building. Shout out to everybody chiming in. I see you, Leah Wilcox. Shout out to everybody. Terrence, I see you. Everybody, this is the podcast. We keep it real. Real talk. That's all it is. You want to chime in and say something? We ain't gonna stay on too long, but we're gonna vent. And because you know what, we're tired, sick and tired. Yes. We're tired of being sick and tired. We're tired of seeing our people get shot multiple times, ambushed, and supermarkets. Our kids being shot in schools. And listen, we're talking about the school too. You know, white kids, black kids, white kids. Listen, kids. Like, there's certain things. Listen, first, let's stop the killing, period. But now, when we're talking about these mass shootings, so right now, we know people ain't going to listen to Bill Forster or Cornelius Parks or Norman Davis or Reggie Bullock, because that means they're not going to get paid to do their job, right? The fact of it is, we got these legislators and these politicians, whomever they are. Like you said, they got 50 of them. We got a bill, like you said, Norman, that's been in there for it's already 2 years or 3 years or 4 years right now, right? excuse me, and you haven't voted on it because you don't want to lose money from the NRA. So NRA is pulling the puppet. It's the puppet master. They pulling the strings. Let me just read some comments, and then I'm gonna let you brothers chime in. Jason says, "Agreed. They should be term limits. That good old boy club needs to go and get out of good old boys club needs to go. They are so out of touch with today's world." Absolutely. Roscoe said, "We need our own ish, period." Mark said, "I truly believe we haven't seen a true operator take up arms and occupation for white supremacy. Timothy McVeigh is an example. These 18-year-olds aren't truly kamikaze." Hold on, let me read the rest of what he's saying. But they have brought into the brainwashing. God help us if a true operator comes after the public. Please keep your eyes open, folks. What's up, Sharon Curtis? Hello, everybody chiming in. I appreciate you. Terrence, my man, Roscoe. Leah Wilcox Collins is back. Roscoe said, if I got to pull out and bang, it's headshots. Don't cross the line. Absolutely. Claudia, what's up, sis? How are you? So, fellas, I'll go with you, Cornelius, and then I'll come to you, Reggie. Unless I apologize, Reggie, if you was about to say something, and I cut you off.
No. Go ahead. I'm good.
Okay. All right. I apologize. I'll extend it to the olive branch. Cornelius, they're teaching people how to prepare for mass shootings at schools, right? I mean, is this causing some kind of trauma to these kids? Like, is this the new norm? Like, generationally, because I look at it when somebody says, "Oh, we got to teach kids how to be prepared for terrorist acts," I'm like, what? Like, where are we at? We at a school. But the thing is, right now, it's becoming a way of life. It really is. What's your thoughts on that? And then Reggie, come in, please.
Well, I mean, it's reality. You kind of answered what I was going to say. Again, Mississippi Department of Education require all school resource officers to go through an active shooter training once a year. Although once you go through that training, your certification is good for 2 years. But because we work in the school system, they want us to go once every year. I got my training is upcoming the 1st of July down on the coast. So I got to go through this 48-hour active shooter course. First 24 hours, correction. 2-day active shooter, which is 16 hours. The first 8 hours is classroom. The second day courses, we actually be doing scenarios with the sim guns, with the shoot the sim rounds. So and we'll have on the full headgear. We'll go in. They'll be throwing mock ammunition, mock bombs, and things like that. So smoke grenades. We'll go through all that. And then we have to implement this in the classroom. In other words, twice a year, we have to go through some type of lockdown training with the schools to answer your question. So the kids are, when we go through this lockdown training, the teachers, administrators, everybody's involved. We go in, we make sure all the doors are locked once we sound the alarm, that this is a training for active shooter. The kids are kind of positioned away from the door, away from windows, kind of in a corner. So when we go by checking the doors, we look inside the little peephole. We shouldn't see any kids in the area in case someone's outside want to shoot into the classroom. So to answer your question, is it traumatizing? Probably so. It's what they call now, just like the pandemic, it's the new norm. We didn't go through this when I was in grade school. Of course, I came out of school in the year 2000. And that's high school. But now these kids now have to go through this twice a year, once every semester, of some type of lockdown procedure, where it's active shooter or something of that sort, or unwanted guests in the building and refuse to leave, and So it can, I guess, it can be traumatizing. I'd rather for one of these counselors or someone who studies psychology to answer that question. But I would say now it's the norm. So I don't, quote unquote, would say, I don't know if it's traumatizing because it's the norm. It's what the kids realize. Oh, this is normal to us. Now, for us, yes, it is traumatizing because we didn't have to go through it. Reggie.
And Reggie, I'm gonna come to you. I just want to say this, Reggie and Norm. We're all similar in age. The only thing that we had to learn about in school was stop running and shit. You know what I'm saying? Running between the hallways. Okay, thank you for our era, but come on, Reggie, as an educator, a former educator, but you're still a teacher. What what's your thought process in the school, in the judicial system, in teaching kids right now, and or just whole massive? If you were in a school, like what do you say? What do you do? What do you tell your kids, man?
I had a former student of mine, 43 years old, call me today, and he said to me, he said, "B, we usually argue about basketball and the playoffs and all this other stuff." He said, "I don't want to hear your opinions. I want to know what we should exactly do." And I said, "Well, there's so many layers to this." I said, "The two things I have always kind of pushed, even though it didn't go anywhere, and this was 20, 25 years ago. One of the things that I pushed was the fact that, first of all, we need to have some type of classroom training, not just on how to duck bullets, but how to train kids how to love each other, how to be nice to each other. You know, just teach kids how to be civil to each other. I don't know if that's ever been done in the American school system. So we got to teach kids how to talk to each other, have a class. You can't graduate high school unless you can pass these steps. That would be number one. Number two, I'm forgetting my second train of thought here. But the second thing is to understand that this is who we are. This is who America is. It's more than the love of guns. We will kill. We will kill other countries. We will blow up. We will take over things. And I hate to say it, I think some of this stuff is like karma coming back to us. This is who we are. You know, the sad thing about this is, I think, and I'm not trying to compare the two tragedies because they're both tragic. It's so tragic that I text messaged both of my kids today. I used to pick up both of my kids at two different time periods and pick them up from school. When I think about what those parents went through, and I'm sure if you got children, even if you're out of the woods and you don't have to worry about your kids anymore, I thought about just the simple fact that, wow, my kids, just think of pulling up one day and I can't pick up my children. And they're saying, stand to the side, you have to wait. That bugged me out in itself. So then I took a deep breath and I said, whew, I'm glad I don't have to go through that. But then again, I thought, wait a minute, my kids still go to malls. My kids still go to movie theaters. My kids still go to, and then I thought about my parents who are still alive. I thought about my parents. I said, the elderly, they got shot up just for being black. That's another thing I wanted to address, Bill, that you had touched on earlier.
Go, please.
One situation, they killed him for just being black. The other one's just a crazy person that just went out and shot people. But the other one, that's because of skin color. So I have to think about all of the skin color, what school you're in, all this other stuff. This is kind of who we are. The only thing I would do to say to help change it, and it's something that politicians, they won't pay for mental health. They're not going to do that. They won't pay extra money to get a kid in this program, that program. But you know what? Another thing I remember, Bill, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. We're willing to spend $70,000, $80,000 on a kid going to prison. We're willing to do that. $80,000 will take care of him for a whole year, but we won't spend $80,000 on a scholarship. $80,000 in karate classes. $80,000 in anything. We won't do that, but we'll spend it on the back end. And so right now we're spending our money on the back end with these schools. We need armed guards. We need this. We need that. Why don't you take that $80,000 and spend it? Maybe that kid doesn't do that. Maybe if you had some civic classes, maybe the racist kid unlearns some of the stuff he's learned. But anyway, it's very frustrating because I honestly don't have an answer other than we got to teach kids to be nice. But then what about the 35-year-old? He's not a kid. What about the 35-year-old that's going to go shoot a place? That's going to happen, and it already has happened. You know, so where do we go from here? I'm sorry to be venting like this, but when
this is where we're supposed to be venting tonight, because the bottom line is it's good, and people understand the reason. In Real Talk, it's great because we're venting, because it's better to vent here and get it off our chest than go out here and act a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because this is our therapeutic form right now. This is what, for anybody that's listening and watching, this is just a venting of positive people. We need to understand and explain how we feel, and instead of yelling at people, we're trying to come up with a solution. It won't be shared to the people that's supposed to listen to this shit, because the bottom line is they don't want to hear what we got to say. We're not in their position. We don't know what we're supposed to do. Shame on Cornelius and myself and Norman and Reggie. Reggie's an educator and stuff like that. Shame on us. How dare us to tell you what you're supposed to do? You got voted into office. F you. You're not doing anything. And you know, the moral of my story before the end of this night is that, listen, if your politician does not go with the thought process of you want he, she, red, blue, in the middle, to the left, to the right, upside down, electric slide, I don't give a F. Don't vote for their ass, because the bottom line is right now, we are the power, and you need to understand and exercise your power. I just want to read some comments, and then I'm gonna bring Cornelius and then bring Norm back in. And what's up, Kevin Grayson? I see you, brother. I just want to read some comments real quick. Mark said the Israeli government has trained and are still training Jewish people here after the shooting in Pittsburgh. It's time for you to suit up, Black Panther. Absolutely. You ain't lying about that. Roscoe said, nah, bro. They let them sort out the selected shooters, know what they can get away with. You know why. They never do ish about it. The scenarios are a test, and people are looking in responses and punishment. No consequences means continued on with their mission. I see you, Nate Crawford, my brother in the building. Shout out, hey Claudia, hey sister, it's been a minute. Shout out to everybody that's watching, my guy. Who was I going to? Cornelius, or was I going to Norm?
Norm.
Okay, Norm, go ahead, Norm. What's your thought process? I mean, we got 5 minutes. I don't want to keep you, brothers. I appreciate you joining with me. Listen, like I said, I'm so sick and tired of being tired. Listen, I don't even know what to say about schools right now, because like if like a kid shouldn't have to go to school and see a person in full armor gear in an AR-15 standing in front of his school. That's not the schools that I know and going to. All I'm looking for is Miss Crabtree. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. And she telling about, yo, do you want an apple today, or stop talking and stand in line? That's what I want to see. I don't want to see like, yo, the whole dude. And just like, I mean, guys, especially in law enforcement, this. Have you ever shot somebody? Don't ask me that, little kid. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm trying to get you on a basketball court. Norm, what's your thought process, man? Give me some insight, whatever you feeling on this, man. What if there's a solution that you think you have, spew it, brother.
My process is people, man, because I know from can you hear me?
You coming in and out, bro. Can you hear us? Cornelius, take over until we get Norm back.
Okay. Tell me the question again. I had my daughter in my other ear.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely. What would be your solution, since we're in summation time? Just what would be your summation if you sat down with the powers that be? Hold on, Norm. If you sat down with the powers that be, and Reggie, I'm coming to you too, and then Norm, and then we'll close out. If the powers that be said, Cornelius, Mr. Parks, what do you think we should do? So that's the question I'm asking to the panel and anybody that's watching, listening. What do you think? So what would be your solution? Go ahead, brother. Just you have as long as you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, I won't be long, and guys, forgive me for exiting out. I'm operating off my cell phone, so if a call come through, it kicks me out. Normally, I would be on my laptop, but it's not charged, and my charge is in there, so I just jumped on here real quick. So anyway.
No, I appreciate you, man, for having you.
Oh, absolutely. And let me say this before I ask the question. Bill, you're doing a great job. I really appreciate what you're doing for your community and also this program. I don't get a chance to always view you because I got so much going on and single father running here, running there. But I do see some of your shows. I get a chance to, sneak in every now and then and see your titles. And sometime I have free, I'll look at your comments. So I want you to know that it's still support here in Mississippi. And I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work. And look, and I told Kevin this, shows like this will probably get 150, 200 views. But now we bring some controversy on and somebody just got the crap knocked out of them, some celebrity, we're going to bring thousands of views. It's amazing. People like drama, but something that's going to be educational or something that we said could be enlightening to the community, man, it hardly ever gets shared. It's amazing.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
To answer your question, I don't really think I have an answer, and let me tell you the reason why. We're living in the last days. I don't want to get too spiritual or too religious,
go ahead,
Reggie.
brother.
I
Go ahead,
promise
man.
you.
Let's
But
walk
we
it.
do
Let's walk it.
right.
Yeah.
But we do know that for those who believe in the Bible, these are the last days, and the Bible warns of such times where being loved, men being lovers of their own self more than lovers of God, and children being disobedient like never before. And I'm paraphrasing. So I don't know if there's anything that we can do on this side, this day and age, to correct the problem, other than it goes back what I would say home training. This thing came about in the 80s and 90s with the increase of teenage pregnancy. Babies having babies is what my mom used to say. So and this may not be the thing in New York, but I know here in Mississippi when we
No,
do have
babies are
14.
still having babies, brother. Give it to
Okay.
us.
All
Give it
right.
to us.
14, 15-year-old. I remember in the classroom we had, I had 8, 9 graders that was pregnant. It wasn't, 30 girls in school, but of course it was 4 or 5 girls in our grade that had children. So anyway, you got these young teenage mothers having kids, and their kids are growing up. The young mothers are still in their 20s or 30s while these kids are teenagers. So mothers are not being mothers like the big mom was probably in your day. And these mothers are smoking marijuana with these kids. They're drinking with these kids. They're going out to the club with these kids, and these kids are not being taught. So I think some of the issue, not all, is some of the upbringing of the kids. Kids not respecting, not respecting the elders. They're not being taught how to respect or how to carry themselves. And so this is some of the root cause, not all, again. And this is some of the things that we're seeing here in the South. And then we look at the fathers not being in the home. 6-7%. There was a study here in Mississippi. 6-7% of the black fathers are either incarcerated or not in the home. That is tremendous. I'm one of the few fathers that's still in the home here in Mississippi, and I catch pure hell. And so it's amazing. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. I'm trying to be an example, and I get crucified for doing that. So I'm too hard on my kids. My kids can't go anywhere. And I don't want to make this about me. I'm just saying
make it about you, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Those who are in the home catch more flack sometimes than those who are not. So with that being said, it goes back to a lot of different things. But I would say some of the issues here in this region is fathers not in the home. These kids are not respecting their parents, and it's not about dads being bullied, but we do know. I remember I would do a little things as a child when mama was around. She'll pull the switch out, but when dad walk in, it's a whole different, it's a whole different mode. Oh crap, it's a different respect level. The kids don't have that now. Even law enforcement, we go into some of these schools. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna warn the viewers. This child in the 9th grade told me he asked me, "What the F are you looking at?" And here in Mississippi, in the district I work in, we're under this Department of Justice dissent decree because there were some things going on in the past where they was saying that the school had a school to prison pipeline. So there are certain things that we cannot do as SROs. We're just there. We're not there to try to arrest kids unless it's like an active shooter situation. But we're there basically for the protection of the kids and the teachers. So we can't enforce disciplinary, which we shouldn't because we're officers. But these kids know this. They know this officer can't do crap to me. So I'm going to cuss around them. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to ask, hey, what the F you looking at? And then when I saw it, I had to catch myself because I got a child around this age. And so my first instinct was, boy, I grab you around this corner and tear your little such and such up. You go into father mode, but then you can't do that because the moment I say something to them, my job's on the line. So everything's politicized now. So that would be my answer to your question. I think it starts in the home. If anything can be done in this day and age, I would say it definitely starts in the home. Reggie?
Hold on, Reggie. Mm-hmm. Cornelius, before you go, and I want you to stay until we close out. But in case you get pushed out, tell people where they can listen at your stuff because I'm not a hater. I share my brother's love, and we work with each other. So let people know with your podcast and what you're doing and how they can hear you.
Absolutely. Now, I don't come on as frequently as I used to because, again, for those who do not know, I'm a single father. I have custody of four of the 7 children that I had by my ex-wife, and between basketball, football, volleyball, I'm on the go all the time. So when we do it, I do have time, especially on Wednesday, because normally Wednesday is the only day I'm free out of the week.
You catch your breath, right? Yeah.
Right. You can catch me on Parks Investigative Live. That's PARKS, Parks Investigative Live. You can like my page on Facebook, similar to Bill Foster's Real Talk Chronicles. And like I said, last time I was on, we came on last Wednesday, but that was the first time in a few months. So, but I told Kevin Graves that we're going to try to come on more. You know, StreamYard, I'm sure you're aware, has kind of increased their program. And now, like, if you're on, I can log on and share your program on my program. And I'm thinking about, I was going to get with you on that. It's some way we can network and just say, like, if I'm not able to do a live 1 week, but you're doing lives, I can go live from my StreamYard and then let your program run through mine. That way your words reaching out to some of my
we're going to do
here.
that. We're going to talk sidebar, if not tonight, later on during the weekend, before over a cheeseburger or something, and we're going to kick it and talk about that. But I just wanted people to understand where they could hear you in case before we close out or you got a phone call and we close before you got. So please stay until Reggie finishes, and hopefully Norman can come back. And I just want to read some comments. Matter of fact, hold on, Reggie, keep that thought in your mind. I just want to read some comments. Pastor Graves is in the building. He's waving. Pastor, we're about to get out of here, but I thank you for chiming in. Stefania said that's a fact. People want to be with be friends with their kids, not a parent. Absolutely. Roscoe said we need our own shit. Spend our money where it is. Appreciate it, celebrate it, not tolerate it. We have come too far. We need to make the change and not accept the powers to do it. My brother Wayne said, "Yo, Bill, it's sad to say, but certain states might need to have armed security guards at all schools and supermarkets." Yeah, it is sad to say that. When friends of someone who's shooting people see something on that person FBI Instagram page about killing someone or have pictures with lots of guns, they need to say something and not say, "I don't think that he was going to do it." You're right about that, Wayne. That's a great topic. I'm gonna close with that. But the thing is, go ahead, Reg. What's your thought? And you can talk about whatever you want. You can close out whatever you want to say, brother.
I'll just say there's two things. Number one, my son was born maybe 3 days after the Columbine incident. And I remember the first black child, or maybe the only black child that was killed in Columbine, his name was Isaiah. And that's the name of my son. And so I remember at the time going, wow, hopefully this stuff is over. And here we are 23 years later, and it's stronger than ever. That's number one. Number two, there was something that Cornelia said that was so important about parents being in the home. I worked at a private school for about 11, 12 years. Those parents technically were in the home. They were doctors and lawyers. Mother's a doctor, father's a lawyer. But what I noticed with those kids, they didn't want to go home on the weekend. I said, how come? Because their mother and father really weren't engaged in their lives. These are the kids that are also, we think of the stereotype of the father being absent. Well, technically, the mother and father were there in those homes, but did not care about what their kids were doing. Absolutely. Those kids are building bombs. They're getting all this stuff from the internet. They're getting racist material. That's the other side to it, too. You can have a two-parent home where neither parent is engaged with the kid, and the kid is doing whatever they want to do. So I think Cornelius hit on a big point. Whether you're in the home or not in the home, parents have to engage. They have to see what their kids are doing. Teachers have to engage. Neighbors have to engage. Internet people have to engage. And more than that, this is not just a kids shooting up kids. It could be a 35-year-old or 40-year-old tomorrow. Yeah. It could be that. And so we've got to look at how we operate as far as our violence. We are a very violent country. We are. And one more thing I got to say is, it bothers me, especially somebody, I'm not saying I'm a Black history historian, but I'm as close to it as you can get.
Absolutely.
I would say that what bothers me the most is when them kids are getting shot up in Chicago, the Bronx, all over, nobody's looking, nobody's caring. But if it happens at a school or a grocery, then all of a sudden everybody, ooh, now that's close to home. That could happen to us.
Yeah.
But see, they're just killing each other. So as long as they're killing each other, we don't care. And I'm like, no, this stuff is going on every day all over the United States. And we should care just as much about that. Instead of, and I'm not saying you take the money that you're sending to Ukraine and spend it, but you send 14 billion, 30 billion to Ukraine. What if you sent 1 billion to the Bronx? What if you sent 1 billion or $500 million to where you're at? What if you did that? Or once again, what if you spent $80,000 on a child in the first grade versus spending $80,000 and locking them up in Rikers for 4 or 5 years? What if you did that? There's so many layers to this. But Bill, I got to thank you. I love your show.
I love you. I love you, everybody. That's my man Reggie. He's a filmmaker, producer. Listen, I did a show with him and Michael. Look up Sledge. It's on YouTube. Listen, phenomenal interview. Phenomenal are these two guests. Cornelius is always with me in spirit. Listen, I'm going to maybe after the summer we'll bring us back. And I'll deal with this exact panel, and then we'll have Norm, and we'll kick about it, and let's see where we are. See if we progressed or regressed, or if we're just still stagnant. And we'll have this conversation. Everybody, in my closing remarks, I'm going to say, listen, be the example. Be who you want somebody else to be. Be the example. Stop pointing fingers and be the finger that people can point out. Be the example. I try to lead by example. I don't do anything that I'm not saying why you didn't do it, right? I try to give back to the children. I try to talk to them. I'm one man along two other men plus Norman. You know what I'm saying? And there's more ladies out there. Respect to the sisters and other brothers out there that are giving back. But the bottom line is, it starts in the home. Cornelius said that. Reggie said that. We all believe that it really starts in the home. Stefania mentioned that earlier. Like stop trying to be your kid's best friend. You know, this ain't courtship of Eddie's father. Like, that's old school. I'm dating myself. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, this ain't father's no best. You know, listen, if it's father's no best, maybe we need to get some real good times up in here and be James Evans, because you know what I'm saying? Because that's where it's really about, starting to make sure that children understand who we are. What's up, cuz? I see you, Princess Pinky, in the building. We need to start galvanizing our homes, because let's get back to our children being punks and punkettes. Listen, you can't go hang out, you can't play because I'm scared. Wait a minute, everybody gonna laugh at me. Well, let them laugh, but you're gonna be safe. Solution, that is part of the solution. I am a religious man. I haven't lost faith. Still pray. Look at your politicians. Get into their derrieres. They need to understand that you are the power. You know what I'm saying? Without your vote, without you being their constituent, without them, without you, there's no them. Everybody pray. It's Real Talk Chronicles. Share it, subscribe to it, like it. This is what we do. That's Reggie Bullock. That's Cornelius Parks. I am Bill Forster. Deli Arts Survival Magazine. Purchase it. Melba Wilson, if you're in Harlem. Leon Ellis, Chocolat. Soft Illusions, if you're in Philadelphia. My wife is doing something with the art gallery. Reggie Wells, Quality Speakers. Listen, we're not going to be here Monday and next week Wednesday, and I might take a break I'll pick and choose. I'll come back and let you know, but we're going to take a little vacation because the holidays are coming up. Please be safe. Be careful. No matter what city, state you are in, be careful. As we see, you're not safe. Texas, LA, the Asians, right? The Asians, God forbid, in the church. Buffalo, there's no place you're safe. So love thy neighbor as much as that neighbor loves you. This is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Reggie Bullock, Cornelius Parks. Shout out to Norman Davis. I'm Bill Forster. Michelle, you said, since my son was able to talk, I would always say to him, what are you not? He'd respond, a follower. What are you? His response, a leader or king. Kevin Graves said, we must be the change that we have to see in the world. Gandhi, absolutely. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you.
All right, Cornelius.
Good night. Enjoyed it. Nice to meet you, Reggie.
Thank you.
Okay, let's meet you too.
Appreciate
All right,
you,
brother.
guys.